Acting Mayor Lego, the show is yours, sir.
Thank you, Brian. I'd like to call the public hearing meeting to order at 5:30 p.m. Introductions of amendments to the agenda.
Through you, Acting Mayor Lego, I have none.
Confirmation of agenda that the agenda for the statutory public meeting of August 18th, 2021 be approved as presented. What I'm going to do is go through the rotation. So it's a bit simpler for me. So I moved it by Councillor Fenlon and seconded by Councillor Cassidy. All in favor? Carried. Declaration of pecuniary interests.
To you, Acting Mayor Lego, I have none.
Thank you. Staff reports public hearing for 600 Highway 72, unopened shoreline, road allowance closure and sale. Applicant Kevin Shabert. I see Roberta's here tonight. This is a public hearing convened under the Ontario Municipal Act 2001 to close part of a shoreline road allowance at the location described below pursuant to section 8 and 9 of the Municipal Act 2001 to authorize the sale of the lands to the owners of the abutting lands. The subject lands at 600 Highway 72 are legally known as parcel 17392, section DKF, part lot 5, plan M266, being part of the NLY portion of mining location RJ10 Sioux Lookout. Will the planning coordinator confirm how notice was served to advertise this public meeting?
Through you, Acting Mayor Lego, notice was circulated to internal staff and external bodies by email. Notice was also advertised in the Sioux Bulletin and on the municipal website and social media, as well as sent by mail to abutting neighbors and various agencies. Signs were also posted at the property entrance.
Thank you. Planning coordinator will provide a summary of the application.
Through you, Acting Mayor Lego, a request to purchase the unopened shoreline road allowance abutting the property known locally as 600 Highway 72 was submitted by the property owner, Kevin Shabert. It is the owner's intention to use the additional land to build a gazebo or a dockhouse. The portion of shoreline road allowance that abuts Mr. Shabert's property has not been opened as a municipal highway and so provides no public or emergency access to the surrounding lands. If this area is sold, adjoining landowners will not be deprived of access to their properties. An administration fee of $1,250 was paid by Mr. Shabert to cover the costs of advertising and staff time to process the application. The purchaser is responsible for all survey costs, legal fees, and registration costs. In terms of land purchase price, the tariff of fees recommends fair market value if the addition results in a significant increase in value, or a $1,000 flat fee plus HST. Council has the option to charge the flat fee or to require a market value appraisal to establish the price. Staff are recommending council charge the flat fee of $1,000 plus HST, as the land is unlikely to add significant value to Mr. Shabert's property.
Thank you. The planning coordinator will read any correspondence received from government agencies and municipal staff.
Through you, Acting Mayor Lego, there were no comments received from government agencies or from municipal staff.
Planning coordinator will read any correspondence received from members of the public.
Through you, Acting Mayor Lego, there was no correspondence received by the public.
And at this time, the applicant or a representative is invited to speak to the application. I know that Mrs. Shabert is here with us tonight.
I don't think we have much to add other than what was written in the application. Just we're looking to purchase the frontage.
Okay, thanks. Questions from members of council, starting with Councillor Bath.
Yeah, I have no questions. I would approve this. I think I approve of the property owners on the lake owning the shoreline.
Okay, Councillor Timpson.
No questions.
Councillor Fenlon.
No, I have no comment.
Councillor Cassidy,
Questions or concerns here?
Councillor Howie,
No comment or questions. I support the application and the recommendation from staff.
questions from the members of the public. Members of the public are invited to speak to the application. The public can ask questions of clarification or seek background information, speak in support of the application, or speak in opposition to the application. All questions will be directed through the chair. It is requested that only one question is asked at a time. Please identify yourself before you ask your question so that it can be properly recorded in the minutes of the hearing. Is there anyone from the public wishing to speak to us at this time? No, hearing none. Okay, so this is a public hearing convened under the Ontario Municipal Act 2001 to authorize the closure and sale of shoreline road allowance abutting, flipping page, property described as parcel 17392, section DKF, part lot 5, plan M266 being part of the NLY portion of mining location RJ10 Sioux. There is no appeal process. We're going with recommendation number 1 for the public hearing. Moved by Councillor Howie and seconded by Councillor Timpson, that council receives this report respecting the road allowance closure and sale application for the shoreline road allowance adjacent to Mr. Kevin Chabbert's property at 600 Highway 72, Sioux. And I guess the clerk will be doing the other part in the regular council meeting. Confirmatory bylaw. That the bylaw number 84-21 being a bylaw to confirm the proceedings of the Council of the Corporation of the Municipality of Sioux, August 18th, 2021, public hearing be read a first, second, and third time and passed. Moved by Councillor Bath, seconded by Councillor Fenlon. All in favor? And that is carried. That was easy, Mrs. Chabert. So I guess, is there any, can the clerk or the planning officer speak to what they need to do next?
Yes, through you, Acting Mayor Lego, we will be in contact with the applicant to discuss the further activity, which is basically surveying the lot and then processing the transfer with a lawyer. So yes, we will be in contact with them.
Okay, so that is everything.
Thank
you very much.
Have a great evening.
You too, thank you.
Bye.
Okay, moving on. Call the meeting, the statutory public meeting to order at 5:38 p.m. Introductions of amendments to the agenda.
Through you, Acting Mayor Lego, I have none.
Okay, confirmation of agenda, that the agenda for the statutory public meeting of August 18th, 2021 be approved as presented. Moved by Councillor Timpson and seconded by Councillor Bath. All in favor? Carried. Declarations of pecuniary interest.
To you, Acting Mayor Lego, I do have one. Councillor Howie has declared interest in the application by the Independent First Nations Alliance. He is an employee of IFNA. So for this portion of the meeting, in accordance with the procedure bylaw, Councillor Howie will turn off his microphone and camera, which I see he already has. And so we're good to go to proceed with the meeting.
Okay, thank you. Application staffing report zoning bylaw amendment for 17 Bernier Way, zoning bylaw amendment number Z07 2021, temporary use bylaw. Introduction. This public meeting is being held pursuant to sections 39 and 34 of the Planning Act, RSO 1990, chapter page 13, as amended by Independent First Nations Alliance for the subject lands known locally as 17 Bernier Way. The subject lands are legally described as Plan 23M971 Lot 52. The purpose and effect of this application is to place 2 temporary mobile trailers on the subject lands. 1 trailer is to be used for educational purposes, single classroom school, and 1 trailer is to be used as a temporary office space for IFNA staff. The applicant is seeking permission for both trailers to be on the site for 2 years. The subject lands is located within a residential type 2 R2 zone. And as a result, this type of use is not permitted in accordance with the zoning bylaw. The trailers are proposed to be moved from their current location at 19 Bernier Way, which was the subject of the temporary bylaw in July of 2020. The bylaw was passed by council bylaw number 67-20 to permit the following temporary permissions: 2 years for the classroom and 1 year for the office space. Because the applicant is proposing to move the trailers to the new location, a new temporary use bylaw is required. The planning coordinator will confirm how notice was served to advertise this public meeting.
Through you, Acting Mayor Lego, notice was circulated to internal staff and external bodies by email. Notice was advertised in the Sioux Bulletin and on the municipal website and social media. It was sent by mail to property owners within 120 meters of the subject property, as well as various agencies, and signs were also posted at the property entrance.
Thank you very much. The planning coordinator will provide a summary of the application.
Through you, Acting Mayor Lego, an application for zoning bylaw amendment for a temporary use bylaw was submitted by Independent First Nations Alliance, or IFNA, for the subject property located at 17 Bernier Way in Sioux Lookout. The purpose of the application is to permit 2 temporary trailers on the subject property for a proposed period of 2 years. 1 trailer is to be used for educational purposes as a single room classroom and extracurricular space for the students who live on the nearby properties that are also owned by IFNA. The other is to be used for office space for IFNA and contains 4 offices. Either the temporary school or office use are permitted in the residential type 2 zone, and so the application is to permit the uses temporarily, as mentioned, for a period of 2 years. The 2 trailers currently are located on the adjacent property, which is 19 Bernier Way, which, as mentioned, was the subject of a zoning bylaw amendment in 2020 to permit that temporary use. The trailers are going to be moved or are proposed to be moved from their current location to the new location on the adjacent lot. As the trailers are proposed on a new lot, a new zoning bylaw amendment to permit the temporary uses is required. If the new amendment is approved, the bylaw for 19 Bernier Way is proposed to be repealed at the regular council meeting later this evening. After the 2-year temporary period, the subject property will be used for residential purposes as permitted in the R2 zone. Staff are recommending the temporary use bylaw be passed, as there's a policy basis to support the small scale school and office use for a temporary period. It is recommended that the temporary school and office use be approved for a period of 2 years.
Thank you. The planning coordinator will read out any correspondence received from government agencies and municipal staff.
Through you, Acting Mayor Lego, there were no comments received from government agencies or municipal staff.
The planning coordinator will read out any correspondence received from government. Oh, it's written twice on my thing.
We were just seeing if you were paying attention.
Yeah, I'm paying attention.
Sorry, our apologies. Yeah, so the correspondence from the public, yeah, would be correspondence that was received from the public. Our apologies.
Yeah. It's all right. Tripped me up.
Through you, Acting Mayor Lego, there were no comments received from any members of the public.
Thank you. The applicant or a representative is invited to speak to the application. Mr. Huck, if you'd like to speak to it.
Yes, good evening there, Council, Deputy Mayor, almost said Deputy Chief. My former life, current life. No, I just want to say thanks, of course, from last year's kind of support and having us kind of provide 2 trailers there. We were able to utilize those 2 trailers during our COVID school year kind of thing. Highly effective in our ability to kind of provide support to our students And what we want to do is kind of have the flexibility of moving these 2 trailers from the current property over to the adjacent property. And then of course, at the same time to kind of maintain our future plan of kind of having a 3rd residence, if required, other structures come on board. At the same time too, as we move those things over there, a 2-year term would be awesome, preferred kind of thing. And that's kind of about it right now. So it's an adjacent property, moving them over and then kind of maintaining the status quo with the full intent of pulling those things out in 2 years.
Thank you, sir. Questions from members of council? Are there any council members wishing to speak on this tonight? Councillor Timpson?
Yeah, does this automatically rescind the order made a year ago to allow them at number 19, or is it number 17 at the first place?
Go ahead, clerk.
To you, Acting Mayor Lego. Councillor Timpson, no, it doesn't automatically rescind it. We have a bylaw on the regular agenda, which if this is approved, we would then rescind the bylaw that was passed last year.
Okay. The other question is to Matthew, you've got 2 lots now and you're looking at a 3rd lot, correct?
No, currently we own 4 properties in Bernier Bay. We currently have occupied 2 buildings. There are 2 structures physically on 2 residences on the 2 properties. And then we have a vacant lot in a sense. And of course, the one with the 2 trailers currently as we speak.
Okay, so probably in a year, you'll be moving the trailers over to another property and
yes.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, okay. That's all I needed is some clarification. Sounds great. Glad to see you moving ahead.
Thank you.
Councillor Cassidy, I saw your hand up there.
Yeah, thanks, Matt, for the presentation, and I'm glad things worked out as well as they did with the last temporary use bylaw. Just a couple follow-up questions for you, Matt. What's IFNA's intent? Are you looking to put some kind of long-term learning infrastructure there developed like permanently with some of your residents? Or are we going to just keep seeing this trailer hop lot to lot?
No, you will not see this trailer moved after this one any further in terms of within the current, I guess you could say, subdivision. Our full intent is to kind of then come back with additional needs in terms of looking at our evaluation of our current student needs. Is it another residence? Is it kind of a potential house kind of thing? And this just gives us a flexibility to kind of maximize the space with the 3 lots and then get a 4th one there. And then, but we have full intention of pulling these things out. And after this one, in terms of granted the support for this 2-year thing, we'll be coming back for a round 3, but that way.
Okay, well, that's good to hear. Thank you.
Thank you. Any other questions from council? We're good. Questions from members of the public. Members of the public are invited to speak on to the application. The public can ask questions of clarification or seek background information, speak in support of the application, or speak in opposition to the application. All questions will be directed through the chair. It is requested that only one question be asked at a time. Please identify yourself before you ask your questions so that you can be properly recorded in the minutes of the public meeting. Is there anyone here from the public that wishes to speak on this application? Hearing none. Conclusion. This concludes the public meeting regarding zoning bylaw amendment number Z07 2021. If any member of the public wishes to be notified of the decisions of council in respect of the application, you must make a written request to the planning coordinator. Notice to appeal the decision of council to the Ontario Land Tribunal must be filed with the planning coordinator no later than 20 days from the date the notice of the decision is circulated. The notice of appeal shall be sent to the attention of the planning coordinator, and it must include the following information: reasons for the appeal and the fee as prescribed under the Ontario Land Tribunal Act in the amount of $1,100 payable by certified check to the Minister of Finance, Province of Ontario. Only individuals, corporations, or public bodies may appeal the decision of council to the Ontario Land Tribunal. An appeal may be filed by any unincorporated association or group, may not be filed by an unincorporated association or group. A notice of appeal may be filed in the name of an individual who is a member of association or group. I'm guessing we are going with option 1 tonight since there is no objection. Moved by Councillor Finland, second by Councillor Cassidy, that the council receives the planning report dated August 18th, 2021, respecting zoning bylaw amendment, temporary use bylaw Z07, 2021. And further, that council authorizes the passing of bylaw number 7721, being a bylaw to amend zoning bylaw number 85-18, as amended to permit a temporary school classroom use on the subject property for a period of 2 years and a temporary office use on the subject property for a period of 2 years. Confirmatory bylaw. That the bylaw number 85-21, being a bylaw to confirm the proceedings of the council of the corporation of the municipality of Sioux, August 18th, 2021. Statutory public meeting be read a first, second, and third time and pass. Moved by Councillor Timpson and seconded by Councillor Beth. All in favor? And carried, adjourned. And I guess, Matt, you can, if the planning coordinator wants to speak on this, or is she gone?
You're acting Mayor. Yes,
oh, there you are.
Us and the chief building official will be in contact with Mr. Hop, and we'll move forward once we have the certified bylaw and the appeal process is up.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, acting mayor and council. Appreciate the support. Thank you.
Thank you. We appreciate it. All right, moving right along. Call the regular council meeting to order at 5:52 p.m. Introductions of amendments. Is Mr. Howie back? Oh, there he is. Introductions of amendments to the agenda.
Through Acting Mayor Lego, we do have a few this evening. The first one would be we are asking that council agree to delete item 7.7. Which has to do with the initial review of a new bylaw to establish and regulate a fire department. Upon further review of the documentation, it's a considerable discussion will be required, and staff is recommending that considerable discussion occur at a standalone special council meeting. So we're as well. There will be a few amendments made to the reference document that will include specific recommendations on each item as well. So we would ask that that be removed from the agenda this evening. Further to the public hearing and statutory public meeting, we would propose that item 7.9 be added, which is the zoning bylaw amendment number Z07 2021 from IFNA. 7.9 ZBL 7/2021 IFNA, as well as item 7.10, which is arising from the public hearing, the unopened road allowance closure and sale. And finally, under the bylaw section, section 10, we would be adding bylaw 7721 and bylaw 7621, which again are arising from the public meeting and the public hearing and the statutory public meeting.
Okay. Just a question regarding 7.9 and 7.10. If we remove 7.7, are these going to be 7.8 and 7.9 then?
Yeah, I thought just for the ease of following the agenda, it might just be easier to just kind of skip over 7.9 and we'll reflect the numbers more accurately in the minutes, but just for the purposes of the agenda, I thought it might be a little bit easier for folks to follow along.
All right, thank you very much. Okay, confirmation of agenda, that the agenda of the regular council meeting of August 18th, 2021 be approved as presented. Moved by Councillor Cassidy and seconded by Councillor Howie. All in favor? Carried. Declarations of pecuniary interests.
Through you, Acting Mayor Lego, Councillor Howie has declared interest in item 7.9 respecting the zoning bylaw amendment application. As Councillor Howie is an employee, so when we get to that item on the agenda, we would, so two options here. We can either when it gets time to lift it, if it isn't going to be lifted, then that's fine. Councillor Howie would just not be able to vote on the items not requiring separate discussion. Or if it is going to be lifted and discussed further, then at that time, Councillor Howie would do as he did in the statutory public meeting by turning off his camera and video. So depending on whether or not the items lifted will depend on how that will go.
Okay. Did you want to deal with the removal of 7.7 or are we going to do that later?
Yeah, so 7.7, now that we approved the agenda, so that one is sort of off there. So we when you're going through the items requiring separate discussion or determining the items that require separate discussion, you can just skip over that.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Okay. And we did the declaration of pecuniary interests. Okay, thank you. Adoption of minutes. Motion to adopt the minutes of the following meetings: July 21, 2021, public hearing meeting minutes, and July 21st, 2021, regular council meeting minutes. That the minutes of the public meeting held on July 21st, 2021, and the regular council meeting held on July 21st, 2021 be approved as presented. Moved by Councillor Timpson and seconded by Councillor Bath. Is there any discussion? Seeing none, all in favor? Carried. Motion to receive minutes of the following municipal boards, commissions, and committees. March 15th, 2021 Municipal Truth and Reconciliation Committee meeting minutes. April 19th, 2021 Municipal Truth and Reconciliation Committee meeting minutes. May 17th, 2021 Municipal Truth and Reconciliation Committee meeting minutes. That the minutes of the Municipal Truth and Reconciliation Committee meeting held on March 15th, 2021, April 19th, 2021, and May 17th, 2021 be received. And that would be moved by Councillor Fenlon and seconded by Councillor Cassidy. Is there any discussion regarding those minutes? Seeing none, all in favor? And carried. Okay, determination of items requiring separate discussion. And I got multiple sheets of paper here. So 7.1, the AODA compliance audit. Does anyone want to lift that one? Councillor Timpson, you want to lift that? Okay. 7.2, deeming bylaw application. See no hands, so no. 7.3, FedNor Agreement Regional Airport Transportation Initiative. Nope. 7.4, FedNor Agreement Hillcrest Commercial Sites. Nope. 7.5, is it ISIP or ICIP COVID-19 Agreement Municipal HVAC System? Everyone's making my life easy tonight. 7.6, Purchasing and Procurement Policy Amendment. 7.6. I will go with Councillor Cassidy. I saw his hand first. And Councillor Timpson, I saw your hand up. We're skipping 7.7, 7.8, Hudson Dog Park. Seeing none. $7.8. Okay, that the following items will require a separate discussion, 7.1 and 7.6, is that correct?
Through you, Deputy Mayor Lego, as well, just the two ones that we added on, just in case people wanted to address them. 7.9, the zoning bylaw amendment.
Does anyone want to raise that one again? Nope. And 7.10?
And 7.10 is with respect to the on-open road allowance closure and sale.
Anyone want to lift that one? Nope. Okay. So the following items will require a separate discussion, 7.1 and 7.6. And motion to adopt the items not requiring separate discussion, 7.2, 7.3, 7.4, 7.5, 7.8, 7.9, and 7.10. Thank you. Okay, so 7.1, 7.6. Okay, staff reports.
Sorry,
yep.
Deputy Mayor Lego, if we could just get a mover and seconder for the adoption of items not requiring separate discussion. Okay. Sorry about that.
That's right. Moved by Councillor Bath and seconded by Councillor Timpson. All in favor? Carried. I wasn't sure about that one.
Sorry about that. And Jackie, for the notes, we can just note under here that Councillor Howie did not participate in the vote because he declared interest in one of the items that was adopted by consent.
And we're good. Thank you, sir. Okay. Staff report 7.1. That council authorized the passing of bylaw number 7321, being a bylaw to amend bylaw 50-05, being a bylaw to adopt personnel policies for the corporation of the municipality of Sioux, and further that council receives the 2021 to 2026 multi-year accessibility plan for the corporation of the municipality of Sioux as attached to the human resources managers. It says reported, so it should be report dated August 18th, 2021. Moved by Councillor Howie and seconded by Councillor Timpson. And this was lifted by Councillor Timpson, if you would like to start.
Yeah, I didn't see it there. It may have been there, but it was a fairly long document. But does it address sidewalks and the, where we have the curves on the curbs? Is that addressed in that? And do we have a policy of automatically with any new sidewalks or roads of making sure we have wheelchair accessible curbs? Corners mostly.
CAO, if you wanted to.
I'll go ahead and let Megan answer it, and then I'll chime in if needed.
Through you, Acting Mayor Lego, the section 56.14, the design of public spaces, talks about any changes to new or existing public spaces, including sidewalks. Everything that's being built new or being updated must be made accessible.
So it's only for new builds, not, are we required to put in, what do you call it when the sidewalk is curved like that? I don't know what you call it, but are we under any obligation to fix what we already have that may not be compiling to that.
Through you, Acting Mayor Lego, we would not be required to make any changes to existing unless the plan is to make changes to existing. So if it is not being adjusted, it does not need to be adjusted, is how I understand it.
Okay.
Is that good, CAO? I saw your hand go up there. Okay, thank you. Any further questions, Councillor Simpson?
Well, yeah, I'm just wondering, you know, if we need to be accommodating that item, because there are increasingly number of persons in Sioux Lookout whose main transportation is a wheelchair. Should we not be looking at making the changes where we don't have that accessibility to the curb? Because I see a lot of people, they're riding on the roads because they don't have it. They're not able to ride on the sidewalk safely.
CEO?
Through you, Acting Mayor Lego, to Councillor Timpson and rest of council. Under the AODA, any reconstruction of any buildings or infrastructure has to take into account accessibility for all people with disabilities, not only wheelchairs. So when we're rehabilitating sidewalks of that nature, then we have to take that into consideration and adapt to the standards that are outlined in the AODA Act. The Public Works Department has a system whereby they do sidewalk rehabilitation every year. They put monies in their budget to do sidewalk rehabilitation. So in doing that, that's how they're upgrading the slant of the curbs coming onto paved area or crosswalks in the municipality. To go ahead and do all of that infrastructure right away would be cost prohibitive, because there's a number of things that would need to be changed even in some of our buildings as well, and some of our open areas in the municipality. So as we move forward, any new builds have to take into account total accessibility, and any rehabilitations projects have to do that as well.
Okay, thank you.
Thanks, Councillor Timpson. Any other councillors wish to speak on this? Seeing none. Do I do an all in favor on this one, Brian? Yep, all in favor? Carried. Thanks, sir. And the other one for discussion tonight was 7.6 Purchasing and Procurement Policy Amendment. That council authorizes the passing of bylaw number 82-21, being a bylaw to establish a purchasing and disposal of assets policy for the municipality of Sioux Lookout, and to rescind bylaw number 61-10. Moved by Councillor Howie, seconded by Councillor Fenlon. Discussion starting with Councillor Cassidy.
Yeah, thanks, Acting Mayor. My only couple comments are around section 7.5 with regards to council's authority and responsibility. Under section 7.5.1, I'd like to see the word base just review added. So it would read review and award contracts with the value over $50,000. I think that having the review in there is an important aspect that we should be reviewing and approving. And then the other item I would like to see added there is that we have the ability to make requests for details through the CAO on any procurement between $5,000 and $50,000.
There a response from staff regarding those comments?
Through you, Deputy Mayor Lego. Yeah, I'm just making notes in that section to make sure that that information is added within the report.
Thank you. Councillor, is that everything, Councillor Cassidy?
Yes, that's it.
Okay. Councillor Timpson, you had your hand up as well. Nope.
I have two comments. I didn't see in there anywhere, and I'm wondering if it's possible to slip it in, that given everything else equal, should we be looking at contracting with local contractors? We're wanting people to shop local, and I know we always can't, but is there some way that everything else being equal that we go local? That be written in?
So through you, Deputy Mayor Lego, we cannot legally just put out tenders and items specifically for local businesses. It's against policy and legislation in order to do so. So, which is why we put notices everywhere for local businesses to put their bid in on the contracts.
Yes, I'm aware of that. But if you had two equal, a local and an out of town, and they both came out equal in terms of your point, is there some way that we would go local?
Through you, Deputy Mayor Lego, no, there's nothing that allows us in order. There's nothing that will allow us to give the contract specifically to the local person as opposed to the contractor that's out of town. The point system is very clear on how it's all laid out. If for whatever reason the points were to match, there would be additional evaluation done on both those contracts in order to figure out which is the best contract for the municipality.
Okay, so you wouldn't decide based on local versus out of town, even if they were all equal and totally equal in every aspect.
We can't give additional points for local contractors. No.
No, I'm not saying that, but if two of them came out totally equal, equal contract, equally valid terms, same number of points, and you've got one local and one not local, can we lean towards the local? Everything else being the same. And if not, why can't we?
I see the clerk's hands up. If you would like to add to this, please.
Through you, Acting Mayor Lego, yes. So in a situation like that, Councillor Timpson, I don't recall us ever being in a situation where staff didn't have a clear recommendation, but if that were ever to happen and all avenues were exhausted by staff for further evaluation, as the Treasurer pointed out, then staff would bring both contractors to Council, and they would need to determine who to award the contract to, whether they chose to award it locally or whether they chose to award it to another out-of-town bidder would be Council's choice at that point, but we absolutely cannot include language in the policy that would provide any favor to local.
Okay, thank you. That clears that up.
That's everything. Councillor Timpson?
No, I had another one on the, and I'm sorry, I can't find the clause. I thought it was under section 6 about environmentally conscious purchasing, and in particular, the ability to recycle whatever. I'm wondering if that policy, if that clause could be strengthened to include that, you know, we do everything in our power to avoid purchasing single-use plastics, single-use items, like pens, all those kinds of things. Is there any way we can strengthen that clause on the environmental
I see the clerk's hand up.
Thank you. Through you, Acting Mayor Lego. Councillor Timpson, my recommendation, if there is a desire to put other types of restrictions on the procurement of certain products, that that be done either through a different policy or through the scoring system that is used to evaluate proposals. I think that would provide a stronger mechanism to evaluate proposals. It was actually something that we scored on in terms of environmental sustainability or practices that mitigate impact to climate change or whatever the case may be. My recommendation would be that be addressed through the scoring system as opposed to the procurement bylaw. The idea with the procurement bylaw is that the goal is to find the best product at the best price, to make the best use of taxpayers' money. So if council wishes to impose certain restrictions on certain products that we can purchase, again, I would recommend that either be done through a separate policy or that specific direction be given to the evaluation criteria that council wants us to use in scoring those types of projects.
Okay, perhaps this is something the Environment Committee could look at.
Is that a nod of the head? Yes. Yes.
Yeah, through you, Acting Mayor Lego. Yeah, I'm not sure if that's specifically one of the things that falls under the Environment Committee's work plan for this year, but if it's not, it could be added next year, or I think there's a general thing where you look at reviewing different policies and whatnot, so it could certainly fall under those auspices.
Thank you.
Councillor Cassidy?
Yeah, further to that, the work plan states about us reviewing tenders or municipal projects for environmental sustainability. So that would fit into that category of the Environment Committee's work plan.
Thank you, sir. Any other discussion from any other councillor on this? Councillor Howie?
My only question for clarification would be, so we can consider environmental impact or sustainability of a vendor when awarding contracts, but could we not include the location of a business or vendor in the scoring matrix for proposals, or is that a legislated procedure, which includes environmental impact? Okay, I see the clear nodding. That answers my question. That's all.
Thank you. Anyone else? No. I guess staff has a couple of little things for that were brought up. All in favor? And carried. No delegations, presentations tonight? No? Okay. Considerations of items requiring separate discussion. Are you muted?
Oh, my apologies. Yeah, so we've just gone through that section, and I think we've addressed all the outstanding items.
Okay, bylaws, and I'm going to turn this over to the clerk because you're really good at this.
Thank you. Through you, Acting Mayor Lego. So, a number of bylaws before council this evening for consideration, 3 readings and passing as follows. Bylaw number 7321 being a bylaw to amend bylaw number 50-05 being a bylaw to adopt personnel policies for the corporation of the municipality of Sioux. So that's to adopt the AODA policies. Bylaw number 74-21 being a bylaw to rescind bylaw number 67-20 being a bylaw to amend the corporation of the municipality of Sioux. Comprehensive zoning bylaw number 85-18 as amended. So that's respecting the original temporary use bylaw for IFNA on Bernier Way. So we're just rescinding the one from last year. Bylaw number 75-21 being a bylaw to deem the lots located at 1820 South Shore Drive and 1772 South Shore Drive not to be within a registered plan of subdivision. Bylaw number 78-21 being a bylaw to authorize and direct the mayor and the clerk to execute a contribution agreement between the corporation of the municipality of Sioux and Her Majesty the Queen and Right of Canada, and that's through FedNor for the Regional Air Transportation Initiative. Bylaw number 79-21 being a bylaw to authorize and direct the mayor and the clerk to execute a contribution agreement between the corporation of the municipality of Sioux and Her Majesty the Queen in right of Canada, as represented by the Minister of Economic Development and Official Languages, FEDNOR, to extend municipal services to the edge of the Hillcrest development site. Bylaw number 82-21 being a bylaw to establish a purchasing and disposal of asset policy for the municipality of Sioux and to rescind bylaw number 61-10. Bylaw number 89-21 being a bylaw to authorize and direct the mayor and the clerk to execute a transfer payment agreement between the corporation of the municipality of Sioux and Her Majesty the Queen in right of Ontario, as represented by the Minister of Infrastructure. And bylaw number 76-21 being a bylaw to, one moment, my apologies. Being a bylaw to permanently close, declare surplus, and authorize the sale of a highway of the municipality of Sioux. So that's the on-open road allowance. And finally, bylaw number 77-21, being a bylaw to amend zoning bylaw number 85-18 as amended, the comprehensive zoning bylaw for the corporation of the municipality of Sioux to permit a temporary school classroom use on the subject property for a period of 2 years, and a temporary office use on the subject property for a period of 2 years. And again, that was respecting the IFNA application. Those are all the bylaws this evening.
Okay, and Councillor Howie is not voting on this?
That's correct.
Okay. Moved by Councillor Cassidy and seconded by Councillor Fenlon that the bylaws given by the clerk. Is this be read first, second, and third time and passed? All in favor? And carried. Notice of motions to reconsider.
To you, Acting Mayor Lego, we have none.
Okay. Questions, comments from members of council, mayor's report, starting with Councillor Bath.
Well, for the amount of time I haven't been home, it seems like I should have lots to say, but I really haven't been to any meetings either, so I have nothing to say.
Thank you. Councillor Timpson.
Yeah, not too many committee meetings, but library board has been very active this month. And what we've done is we've recruited the former CEO of the library, Gwen McDonald. We've brought her back as an interim manager in the absence of Michael Laverty, who's on a leave for now. And so she's working very hard to get the library back on its feet and open. We haven't been able to open because of COVID and just in terms of the transition. So we're looking forward. We're hoping it will be within a few weeks, we'll be able to open the library again under the COVID restrictions. Resource Utilization Committee of the Hospital Board. I've had one meeting there. And one thing that would be of interest, I think, to council is that we have finished one of the fourplexes. The hospital has built two fourplexes in the Boreal subdivision. One is now occupied, and the second one will be soon occupied. So that's going to be a real boon to housing new staff coming to work at the hospital. So that's sort of the update on the board work that I've done this month. That's pretty well. I participated in Blueberry Festival, a couple of items, and yeah, other than that, I think that's about it.
Thank you very much. Councillor Fenlon.
Haven't been had the LCC meeting, I think last Tuesday, and to go over some of the products, well, not products, but work out in the field taking place and amendments and whatever to the annual cut. I was glad to see SLAM is going to continue on with their projects in Hudson and improving it. I didn't attend it because I didn't get an invite. It left in my box there. I don't check my mail there very often in town. And the dog park moving ahead was pretty good. That's about it.
Thank you. Councillor Cassidy.
All of my my committees are still on hiatus right now, but I did take in several blueberry events and helped host one, and kudos to everyone involved, the people, the businesses. Another fantastic job this year with the Blueberry Fest. It was really well done, and also just helped host a golf tournament for the Bombers Junior A hockey team, and that was another great success with, again, fantastic community support. So kudos to everyone that helped out and supported that as well. So that has been my month.
Thanks, sir. Councillor Howie.
Like Councillor Cassidy, the committee involvement is on hiatus or being reviewed. So there were no council meetings. Did attend the regular special council meetings, or sorry, special council meeting that we had. And I unfortunately missed the Blueberry Festival. I was out of town with the evacuation effort in the region. So thank you.
Thank you. Yeah, again, I was also pretty quiet. Had a committee of adjustments meeting yesterday along with a special council meeting. And no Kenora Home for the Aged meeting. We had one in early July, so we didn't have one at the end of the July. And so the next one will be the end of August. And that was my month besides hosting family here at the house. So that is all for me. Motion to move into closed session to discuss matters of a general nature as noted. That council moves into closed session at 6:27 p.m. to discuss matters of general nature as noted below, subject matter relating to a position plan, procedure, criteria, or instruction to be applied to any negotiation carried on or to be carried on by or on behalf of the municipality or local boards per Municipal Act 2001 as amended section 239, subsection 2K, one item social services program negotiations. Moved by Councillor Timpson and seconded by Councillor Beth. All in favor? And carried. And I guess we'll be moving into a closed session.
Yes, through you, Acting Mayor Lego. Our friends at Encompass IT in just a moment will present a little dialogue box on your screen that will enable us to move into closed session. And that will be coming up in just a moment. There we go.
Nothing yet?
Yeah, they're just putting the numbers of people together there. It'll just be one moment. Sorry for the delay.
Oh, okay.
Okay. For everyone watching on our Facebook channel, we will be moving into closed session, so we will just pause the recording at this time.
Okay, reporting out from closed session. Ratification of resolutions, passing of resolutions, and our bylaws arising from closed session. The council ratifies motions, direction given to staff relative to the items presented in closed session on August 18th, 2021 as follows. Is there anything that you need to add to that, clerk?
Through you, Deputy Mayor Lego, as the conversations in closed session did not result in any direction to staff, there's no motion to pass at this time.
Okay, so there's no move there. Okay, awesome. Confirmatory bylaw, that bylaw number 8621 being a bylaw to confirm the proceedings of the council of the corporation of the municipality of Sioux, August 18th, 2021, regular council meeting. You read first, second, and third time and passed. Moved by Councillor Howie and seconded by Councillor Timpson. All in favor? And carried. Hey, number 16, adjournment. And we're done. Is that it?
Thanks, everyone. Have a great evening.
Well done, Corey. Well done.
Very great.